He begged for his life until his final breath, but years later, the truth came out. He was innocent all along. This is the story of Cameron Todd Willingham, a father, a husband, and a man the world condemned before the truth ever stood a chance. December 23, 1991, Corsicana, Texas. It was just 2 days before Christmas. The town was calm, festive lights glowed in windows, and families were preparing for the holidays inside a small home on West 11th Street. Cameron Todd Willingham and his 3 little girls were starting their day. Then everything changed. A fire broke out in minutes. Flames devoured the wooden house. Neighbors heard screams and saw smoke rising into the cold morning air. Cameron rushed outside. His skin burned, his lungs filled with smoke. But his children were still inside. He tried to go back for them. The flames were too strong. By the time firefighters arrived, it was over 2-year-old Amber and 1-year-old twins Carmen and Cameron were gone. Cameron barely survived. He was devastated, shocked, disoriented, and grieving beyond words. But in the days that followed, sympathy began to fade, replaced by suspicion. The whispers began. He didn't cry enough. He didn't act right. Something's off about him. Then came the investigators. They combed through the ashes of the Willingham home and declared the fire had been intentionally set. They said the burn patterns on the floor proved gasoline had been poured. They said the fire burned too hot, too fast to be accidental. And so the story changed. Cameron was no longer a grieving father. He was now the prime suspect. The police said he killed his own children. They said he was violent, that his marriage was falling apart, that he snapped, and soon a jury believed them. At his trial, the prosecution described him as a heartless monster, a man who could burn his own babies alive. They brought in fire investigators who confidently testified that the blaze was arson. The defense, underfunded and inexperienced, had no expert of their own to challenge it. No accelerant was ever found on Cameron's clothes. No eyewitness saw him start the fire. No confession ever came. But it didn't matter. The jury found him guilty. Cameron Todd Willingham was sentenced to death. For many, the case was closed. A tragedy, yes, but justice, they believed, had been served. But behind prison walls, Cameron never stopped fighting. He wrote letters. He pleaded with reporters. He told anyone who would listen that he didn't do it. He said he loved his daughters, that he would have died for them. He said the fire was an accident. Years passed. Cameron sat in a cell waiting for a justice that never came. Outside, the world forgot his name. Then something happened. A respected scientist named Dr. Gerald Hurst, an expert in chemical fires, came across Cameron's case file. He studied the original fire investigation reports and was stunned. Everything, he said, was wrong. The patterns that investigators claimed were proof of arson were nothing more than ordinary signs of a flashover, a natural phenomenon in house fires. The melted glass, the puddle-shaped burns, the smoke residue, all normal. There was no evidence of gasoline, no proof of intent. It was a tragic accident, not a crime. Dr. Hurst wrote a detailed report. He sent it to Cameron's lawyers. They sent it to the Texas Board of Pardons and the governor, but time was running out. February 17, 2004. After 12 years on death row, Cameron Todd Willingham was executed by lethal injection. He was 36 years old. His final words were simple: "I am an innocent man, convicted of something I did not do, but I forgive you." And then silence. Months later, the truth began to surface. Fire experts across the nation reviewed the case and confirmed what Dr. Hurst had found. The science used to convict Cameron was outdated and false. The so-called signs of arson were myths long disproven by modern fire research. The evidence that sealed his fate had never truly proven anything. Cameron Todd Willingham had been executed for a crime that never happened. The state of Texas took his life before the truth could set him free. His name became a symbol, a haunting reminder of what can happen when justice rushes ahead of truth. He died branded as a murderer, but today his story stands as a question that will never fade. If the system can kill one innocent man, how many more have we yet to uncover? How many truths are still buried beneath the ashes of our mistakes? Cameron Todd Willingham, father-son, wrongfully executed, gone before the truth came out.